Hi you guys, welcome back. So we are once again looking at older board meetings that coincide with the current month that we are in. So this particular board meeting took place in October of 2021, and it is just 5 months into Tiffany's mayoral tenure. Now, tensions are already high, all right, and the trustees and Tiffany don't seem to be getting along. Surprise, surprise, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and play a little bit first, and then I'll chime back in.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is Melody Fitness, Trustee Brown.
Good evening, all. It'll be very, very brief. With the fitness center, after talking to the finance committee chair, we are still losing funds for the Melody Fitness Center. May through August, we have a loss of $25,000. As of today, we don't have any plans as to what we're going to do with the Melody Fitness Center. But I will reach out to the mayor. I know you once spoke about maybe having the YMCA to come over and take a look at that facility. But as of today, we have no plans as to what we're going to do with that. But we still have the cafe that's the only vendor that's utilizing that facility right now. But we definitely have to come up with something, because within 4 months, we've lost $25,000, and there's still 4 more months to continue throughout this year. So we definitely know we'll be at a loss. But I definitely will reach out to you. We can probably come up with a meeting to meet and see what are some of the ideas that we want to do with the fitness center.
Update as it relates to Melody Fitness. It is on the table for YMCA. No one has gotten back with us. I know that the attorneys have reached out to them to get a clear answer of direction. Either A, they want to move forward with us and rent the facility, or is it a dead no? So I'm hoping to have some clarity by the end of this month is what I put the deadline as it relates to yes or no with YMCA. The second option on the table was regarding our government bodies. So that's the park, the library, and the school boards. Now I've met with all the presidents of each body, and they both have agreed that they would take on the burden as it relates to the price. They have to get their board on board in order to move forward. So I had Chris to divide the numbers to tell them each of how much it would cost if each of them take a portion of it. That way it can stay within the community, and each of them can use it for the kids that do go to Thornridge, Lincoln School, things of that nature. So those are 2 options that is on the table currently for Melody Fitness.
So this is interesting because I don't really remember her saying much about the YMCA and her reaching out to them and trying to get them to come in and take over Melody Fitness. My thoughts are, and these are just my thoughts, is that was just a bunch of BS. I really don't feel like she reached out to YMCA. I feel like she had her plans, that what she wanted to do with Melody Fitness all along, so she was just kind of dragging it out until it was time for her to just pretty much implement her plan, which was to make it into a police station / community center, which we all know by now never happened. If you guys have watched any of my past videos, you know that she had the village spend $50,000 on a police sign, and now it's just sitting there on an empty building. But I digress. What I'm really trying to say is that Tiffany Henyard doesn't know how to connect and doesn't know how to get things going, because she's always arguing with people and she never wants to compromise. At least that's what I've seen. So I really don't see her working with the Parks Department, because we know she's already had beef with them, okay? And whatever other branches of government she says she reached out to, I don't see that happening in a civil way, which is why, she's been sued so much, and just because she just doesn't know how to act. Okay, I'm gonna just say it. The child acts like she has no home training. So my guess is whoever she reaches out to doesn't want to work with her, because she built that reputation for herself of just being a nasty person. That'll lose a lot of business for you. Customer service goes a long way, and that's customer service internal and external. You don't just have customer service to the residents, you have to have customer service to the board of trustees, the people you work with, and the government that you work in, or else things are just gonna fall, and it's gonna fall fast. But what do you guys think? Do you think she actually sincerely reached out to the YMCA and her other branches of government to try to get something going, or was she just kind of waiting it out to introduce her idea? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. All right, let's get back to it.
Next on the agenda, we have corporate bills. Trustee House.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm pulling up the list right now. We have 2 warrant lists to be read. Combined, we have the corporate payments register 198.
So you guys, we're not going to listen to him read off all the bills. We will, however, go ahead and get to the juicy part, okay? Because that is when Trustee House elects to pay, the bills, but then he wants to add another bill in there, which is kind of interesting because nowadays we see him taking out bills, right? So let's go ahead and get to that part and see what that's all about.
I move to pay registers 197 and 198 collectively, with one addition. There was the severance payment, which was approved by the board. I would ask that payment be added to the register.
So you making a motion?
That's my motion. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There's a second?
Second.
Okay. There is a motion and a second. Can you call the roll?
Mayor, we would do a discussion.
Oh, you got discussion. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought that was it.
What? Yeah, he has discussion. You're not the only one that want to discuss things. I think she's just always waiting on her turn to talk in her grandstanding moments, that she forgets that after they make a motion that there's discussion and that other people would like to discuss things too, Mayor. Yes, you're not the only one. All right, let's hear what he has to say, because she sure just tried to gloss over that.
Any discussion?
Oh, there's one item on there I wanted to ask about. It was one that looked like it was paid on the last warrant list, but I didn't have an opportunity to talk to Chris. Marvelous Media was on page 6 for 2 payments, and it looks like that was paid on the last warrant list. So I wanted to ask Chris, is that a duplicate invoice, or is that something different?
I believe that was pulled on the last warrant list as not to be paid. So that's why it's on this warrant list.
Okay.
Because in the system, it still showed as outstanding, that it was run, but it was not processed through for a check.
It was not? Okay.
Chris, it was a different amount I'm sorry, can I be recognized, Mayor?
Go ahead, Trustee.
It was a different amount on the last warrant list. And so if it wasn't paid, then why it's not the same amount?
1 sec, let me pull up. No, the invoices 180 and 183, they're both for the same dollar amount on the last warrant list. So warrant list for the 9/7 bill run, the invoice 180 and 183 were both for the same dollar amount as it is on the 10/4 warrant list. Now, on the last bill run, the amount was larger for the overall payment, but they had more invoices on there.
The one that had $4,600?
Yes. That one had 5 invoices on that warrant list compared to this one only has 2 invoices on there.
Okay, so on the last one, it was some, and then we voted. We had them removed. So now only 2 of them are being placed on the warrant list?
Correct.
Okay, all right.
So you guys, this is an example of what the trustees should be doing. They should be asking questions. If there's anything on the warrant list or on any type of list that looks confusing or doesn't seem to add up, they should absolutely be asking questions. And so this is still earlier on in Tiffany's mayoral tenure, like I said, and so questions are actually being answered. And she's allowing the departments to answer questions. Now, when things started to really go left is when she cut off that communication between the department heads and the trustees and pretty much ordered them not to give the trustees the information they need to vote on the bills being presented before them. And of course, things just went downhill from there. So next is Trustee Brittany Norwood, and she has some questions about some cleanup that was done that costed a lot. And so the information they got about who did it and who got paid and how much was paid was kind of blurry. So she's just looking to get some firm answers on that.
I guess my second question was, I just wanted to know what the EPA cleanup was that in addition with the Homer that we agreed on, that we approved for the board, or is that something different in terms of those, the $25,000 and the $15,000 for the EPA cleanup mulch?
Okay, Chris.
Let me pull up mulch.
Yeah, because you said EPA cleanup mulch pickup.
Yes. So what's your question, Trustee?
My question is this something separate from, is this an additional cost or is it addition to the Homer. I know that we approved Homer to come out to remove the trash, remove the mulch. So I was just wondering, is this $25,000 and $15,000 in addition to the $70,000, $5,000 that we approved to Homer, or is it something? Is it together?
This is a different vendor, but it all relates to that EPA situation you guys have and the repairing and the cleanup of that area.
So I'm already noticing some tricky language here, right? So what Brittany is basically asking, she's noticing some extra charges related to this EPA cleanup. And what she's asking a simple question. Are these extra charges included in the $75,000 that we approved, or are they additional charges? And if so, where are they from? And so Chris's response was, yes, it's related to the EPA cleanup. He's not saying it's an additional charge to the $75,000. He's kind of beating around the bush and avoiding the actual question. And this is where more of that uncertainty kicks in, and the trustees are really getting to see how non-transparent Tiffany Henyard can be, even though she ran her whole campaign off of transparency. All right, let's continue and see how this plays out.
Got it. So I guess I just want to be clear. So the $75,000 that we approved as the board, is this $40,000 coming out of that $75,000 that we approved, or is it in addition? So are we paying the $75,000 that we approved for Homer and this $25,000 and $15,000, or is it all just coming out of the $75,000 that we approved?
You want to answer?
No, I'm making the question clear.
Yeah, it's coming out of the $75,000 altogether. So I was hoping he can clear it up for you, but yeah.
If you need me to specify, Mayor, I can.
So you guys, here we go. Another interesting thing I noticed was that Chris went silent, okay? When Brittany was asking for a specific answer, he had nothing to say, almost like he didn't want to incriminate himself, okay? And then Tiffany chimes in like, yeah, no, it's coming out of the $75,000, because we know she has no problem with, bending the truth. We'll say that, okay? Allegedly. So she chimes in, and then the head of the Public Works Department, he chimes in, which is just one of Tiffany's cronies that she hired. And of course, he has no problem bending the truth as well. So let's continue and see what he has to say.
Sure. Go ahead, Stacey.
So, the 75 was approved. We used the change from that because Homer only invoiced us somewhere around 39,000. We used the change from that 75 to continue the cleanup process.
Got it. Okay, so we use what Homer charged us, and then we have this amount coming out of the 75,000.
Correct.
Perfect. That's what I was wondering. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay. Any more questions?
So basically he's saying that the cleanup didn't cost as much as they thought it would cost, but they had extra money left over and they used it to clean up. For some reason, something tells me that they didn't use that extra money to extra clean up. But like I said, he wouldn't have a problem bending the truth because that's one of Tiffany's cronies. The other thing is that I could see Brittany didn't really ask the questions she wanted to ask, and she kind of gave up. And that's something that unfortunately the trustees did a little bit too much earlier in the game. And that's how Tiffany was able to get away with so much of this little slick stuff, okay? Because we know with all that extra money, she didn't just use it to just clean up. All right, I'm gonna just say that. That's my opinion. I'm gonna say that too. Because if she did, why didn't the trustees know about it? Why wasn't that brought to the board as far as, okay, we have this amount of money left. These are the vendors I'm going with, and this is what they're doing. That was not brought to them, or else Brittany would never have to have asked that question in the first place. All right, now let's move on because there's more.
B, approval of resolution 21- related to a contract for media consultants, high society management. I'm gonna open the floor up. Anybody have any discussion regarding this? For no discussion? Okay, is there an approval can I have a motion to approve a contract with high society management? Okay, do the board have any discussion regarding it? Y'all got any comments? Anything? Okay. Yeah, you got anything to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that we discussed the PR ones before, but overall, I just want to wait until I know that Chris said during the finance meeting, we need to watch our spending on our finances. So I just want to wait to see what things are. That's my answer with that.
Okay. So for the record, from our board of trustees, it amazes me how you guys vote on things such as giving someone a service package of $7,000, which we did not budget for, but we found the money to do it. But yet when it's something that's needed for community, such as a PR, so when something bad happens, you have a spokesperson, that's said that you guys will put that on the back burner, but you will make sure that y'all just voted to pay a young lady $7,000 that only been here for 5 years.
So let me get this straight. She's talking down to the trustees because they want to make sure the finances are in order before they go and hire on this big media PR company. But Tiffany is complaining about an employee who has been there for 5 years, mind you. And 5 years is not a short time to be with the same employer. So I don't even know what she's talking about right there. But she's complaining about that employee getting a severance package, which obviously she qualified for, or else she wouldn't be getting it. So I think there's an underlying issue with her and that employee, whoever that is. Just add it to the list of people that Tiffany Henyard have an issue with, okay? It could be almost anyone at that point, right? But we can just kind of see where her headspace is and how she reacts to things when it doesn't go completely her way. All right, let's continue.
So I don't think that's right. I think y'all should reconsider that. And y'all keep saying y'all waiting on the budget and the money. We didn't budget for that, but y'all just approved that. But y'all gave Sean Howard a contract for 4 years with no problem. And all I was doing was replacing what was there. So it wasn't like it wasn't budgeted for. That was already in.
Thank you, Mayor.
So for my trustees, if you guys will reconsider, and anyone else before we move on to the next item? Okay. Next on the agenda is.
So the trustees didn't vote despite her little attempt to bully them into changing their minds. All right. Fun fact, she did end up hiring on Dr. Nikita Cloud, who is the founder of the company that she's talking about. And she hired her on as her chief of staff. So I don't know if she did that to circumvent the trustees' vote about the PR person. But anyways, Tiffany got what she wanted. But in the end, the relationship between Tiffany Henyard and Dr. Nikita Cloud soured, and it soured so much that she went on the Board of Trustees YouTube page and made a whole video spilling all the juicy details about Tiffany Henyard and how she was and how unprofessional she was and all the horrible things she does. So yeah, you guys, that's an interesting video. If you want to go check it out, go to the Dolton Trustees YouTube page. It's on there. It's like a 30-minute video and she is spilling the beans, let me tell you. All right, let's go ahead and continue because Tiffany is now going to talk about the trustees' little secret squirrel meeting. She doesn't refer to it as a secret squirrel meeting yet because remember, this is an older board meeting, but she does say the meeting was illegal. You know what's funny that I often find? Some of the people who break the law the most always have the nerve and audacity to tell someone else that what they're doing is illegal. Do you guys happen to see that same pattern too? Let me know down in the comments. Anyways, let's get back to it.
Approval of resolution 21. So let me explain before I go into this. The reason why this is on the agenda is because the last board meeting that the Board of Trustees called for a special meeting was an illegal meeting. So I'm saying to you guys that due to the fact it wasn't signed, your documentation when you posted it, it was illegal. So I'm saying that you guys need to revisit this and re-vote for this here at this meeting so that it is in stone that you guys do want to get the sidewalks replaced and the alleys done. So that's the reason for this. So for letter C, is there a motion to approve these items once again?
Well, Mayor, if I can comment, the statement that is illegal, my perspective, as well as that of the Legislative Council that we retained, was that it's a legal meeting. So I feel that that was properly approved and I will not be voting. I will not be motioning at this time.
Okay, anyone else? Okay. So just make sure you have it for the record, Clerk Key, what I just stated, so that they do understand that the meeting that they previously had was illegal for the second time. You guys posted a meeting without signing it properly or posting it properly. That's why I'm stating that you guys should have just took this action and just voted again. And that way everything would have been actually in stone.
So her arguing and going back and forth with the trustees about them having quote unquote illegal meetings, secret squirrel meetings, she likes to call them nowadays. It's been going on for a while because this was in 2021. Like I said, this was just 5 months after Tiffany Henyard got into her mayor position. Okay. She's coming in guns blazing. All right. And the trustees are basically trying to tell her, hey, slow down. We need to make sure we do this right with the finances. You know, she's so concerned about doing everything, being the first one to do this, to make history, blah, 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 blah. We know. And taking credit for everything, that she doesn't care about any type of budget, the finances. She's using up all the resources, and the trustees are just trying to just hold on to what they can because they know they have made a big mistake by, endorsing her and helping her get into this position. Unfortunately, they knew at this point they had a long road ahead of them. And today, even they still have a longer road ahead of them because they have to undo all of the damage Tiffany Henyard has done. All right, let's continue.
Next on the agenda is a special item from Special Board of Trustees meeting September 27, 2021, a directive motion regarding police protection. So this was Trustee Belcher, so I guess the floor is yours.
Well, we discussed it at the special meeting, so it's a matter of voting on it or to make a decision if the board wanted to take it into executive session, but it's really a matter for voting right now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's up to you guys. You tell me what you would like to do. Is no ordinance or resolution on here, so I didn't understand what your directive was because y'all have nothing together as it relates to this item. So
the original one came with the meeting when we had the special meeting, Mayor. It was attached to it.
Yeah, it's no ordinance on it. It's just something like someone wrote something. So I did confer with the attorney, and the attorney stated there is no directive. So was it an ordinance form, a resolution? It has nothing at the top. Like how when we read all these items, it say ordinance number or resolution. Your item don't have that. It's just like someone wrote a paragraph making a statement.
So Tiffany is questioning the way that this is being presented by Trustee Kiana Belcher because it's not really specifically drawn out and there's like no ordinance numbers or anything referring to whatever the trustees are trying to change, which is the mayor's security detail. Now Tiffany's questioning about the specifics of this request from Kiana Belcher just reminds me of a board meeting they had when they were going over the budget and the trustees elected to take out some of the money that was supposed to be used for their trainings.
And line 1-12-563, reducing from $30,000 in trainings to $10,000. $10,000 in training.
Okay.
That's my motion.
Y'all don't want to get educated. Okay, got it. Training. That shocked me for you guys don't want training to get educated as being a new elected official.
Okay, now I am going to agree with Tiffany on this one. All right. I know. Crazy. But I feel they were all newly elected officials. Well, except for Jason House. He's been in the game for a while. So they should take full advantage of any trainings to help them learn their job to the fullest extent. I feel like that's with any job. If you go in there and the company is offering you free training for you to learn your job, why wouldn't you take it, right?
Again, I asked the attorney about it. Y'all had no directives as it relates to a resolution or ordinance. It was just a motion to do what? So normally when you make a resolution or ordinance, you tell us what you want to do. All you did was write a paragraph. Not in high school. You got to put resolution and ordinance on it so we know what we're doing. This is the government.
So I feel like if that was something they would have taken advantage of, they would have known how to go about these ordinances and how to change things. And then in turn, they would have been able to curb Tiffany's spending and all the little shady things that she was trying to do. For an example, we see over in Thornton Township where Tiffany Henyard is a supervisor. Some of the trustees there actually seem like they do their homework, or they're getting better legal counsel than what's going on over in Dolton, because they actually go and they make changes to the ordinances, and they're very specific about what they're trying to change to curb Tiffany's outlandish spending, like big bingo spending and things of that nature. I just wanted to point that out, that they definitely, as newly elected officials in the trustee position, they should have taken advantage of learning all that they needed to learn about that position, because it definitely would have helped them in this game against Tiffany, because that's, let's face it, it's a game for her. She's been in the game way longer. She's been a trustee for 8 years, so she's been through this whole rodeo show before. But like trustee Kiana Belcher, she's very new to that position. I would look at it like this. It's like opening up a new business with people who have never worked before. Okay? It's gonna be crazy, and it more than likely will fail. All right? Unless those employees get training to help them learn how to work. Right? Okay, so let's get back to this board meeting, because they are talking about the mayor's security detail. And this is something, if you have heard of this Dolton drama, no doubt you have seen the clips on the news. Yes, so Tiffany Henyard spending, she wants to walk around like she's the president of the United States. She feels like she needs all this security detail, but now that we fast forward up to date, I think she needs it a little bit more now, because the way she treats people and how she's just been so blatantly out there and disrespectful to everyone, she might actually need all that security now. But let's go ahead and get back and see what the trustees have to say about it.
We can discuss it. I'm asking the board members if you want to discuss it in executive session, or.
Yeah. Well, we already discussed it, so if it's
okay.
So if you guys' mind is made up, right? But hear me out. If you guys' mind is made up and you feel that this is something you want to do, let's move forward and keep it moving. I don't want to prolong the meeting any longer, because we're at the end. So I still stand the same way I have before. I'm a single mom, you all know that, with a 2-year-old daughter. So for you all to even think or consider removing something like that from myself, that's given to everyone in the nation, as relates to when you're in politics, it comes with the title. It ain't nothing that I just made up and got. So you guys know about the threats, you know about everything, and y'all broadcast everything here to the public, the last board meeting, and what you think happened after that. So all I'm saying to you is that y'all should take that consideration. And for you to be a woman yourself, Trustee Belcher, it's a shame for you to even try to go this route. I guess everybody upset because I didn't pay for you guys' hotel rooms. So I guess this is your way of trying to get back at me over police detail, which I feel is petty. I do feel that that's beneath you guys, and I'm not gonna stoop to the level, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I need to do, because I'm gonna protect myself and my daughter, which is my family, that you guys are putting at stake by putting on this clown show as relates to my safety. I don't appreciate it. I said that before, I'm gonna say it again. Y'all wrong. So I just pray that nothing happens.
So she's being very dramatic right now, very disrespectful. The thing is, the trustees are not trying to take away her detail at all. They're trying to take away round the clock, 24-hour, sitting outside her house security detail, like she's in witness protection. Like, it's ridiculous, because she's using the Dolton police force to chauffeur her around, to sit outside her house, to do her errands. It's just crazy. And she mentions that Belcher is a woman and that she's a single mom. There are other single moms in the village, so while you are using up all the police resources, if something happens with them and their child, what about them? That's what I want to know. She just thinks she's the mayor, so she's like a national treasure, I guess. That's what she has it in her head, that the police, everything in the town is there for her disposal and for her usage first, and then we'll figure out everything else with the finances, with everybody else comes next. But first, she needs the security detail because everybody's after her. I can almost guarantee you no one was after her at that time. They were more annoyed with her and wanting to get away from her. But maybe now the atmosphere has changed a little bit, and so now she's definitely feeling unsafe, which she should be. And I feel like all that she has brought on herself, because like I said, she doesn't know how to sit down and be quiet. Okay, she just needs to be in the spotlight, and she needs to constantly talk, and she talks about other people as well. I'm just saying, the way she acts, it's no wonder why people say they hate her. Like I said before though, I don't hate her. It's impossible for me to hate someone that hasn't personally impacted me in my life and that I don't even know, okay? All I know of Tiffany Henyard is from what I can see, how she's acted in these meetings and how she presents herself. That's all I know. I know there's a lot of news segments on her. There's a lot of YouTubers saying things about her. But for me personally, from my standpoint and what I see, like I said before, this is not someone I would choose to even be within a close proximity of. Okay. And that's my take on it. So you guys, in a nutshell, the trustees were just trying to see how long the security detail would be lasting. And they were just trying to see how long this around the clock security detail would be lasting, because in the end it ended up costing the village a lot of money for security for just one person, which is just ridiculous. Well, that's going to be it for today, you guys. Like I've said before, if you enjoyed this video, and definitely if you've made it this far, please remember to hit that like button on your way out to either another one of my videos, okay, or wherever else you're headed in this YouTube universe. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to leave it a like, and if you're new here, subscribe.
Next, you can see is a graphic that depicts where the village started as of April of 22 with positive of $5.6 million in the general fund, and where we are as of May of 2024, which is a negative $3.65 million. Particularly given overtime, what we saw is two outliers in officers, Officer Terry Young and Officer William Reed. Both of these individuals in the last 2 years have earned more in overtime than their base compensation.
Like I said, people keep feeding you stuff, but y'all don't never want to hear another side and us show you actual truth. You ask for transparency, here it is.